Oh hi, welcome to the vlog. Today we're looking at why my family and I stopped traveling full-time in an RV. Why are you out of focus, camera? Dang it. So in 2015, my family and I sold everything we owned. We got rid of our house, 2 cars, everything in the house, and 2 dogs. That's not true, that'd be mean.
We just wanted something different for our family.
We live in a trailer.
Are we really doing this? Yeah. You don't want to live in a 30-foot trailer.
You came inches from stepping on a rattlesnake.
We got rid of everything and bought a travel trailer and a car to pull the travel trailer, and we hit the road for almost full years. For full years? I was gonna say full time. We hit the road for almost, there's so many words I'm trying to say. And my brain is like, I don't know what order to put these in. And I'm like, well, do it in the order that other people understand. And my brain's like, I don't know what anyone understands anymore. Anyways, we hit the road for almost 4 years, full time in this travel trailer with our 3 kids, and it was absolutely life-changing.
We were kind of dying inside. That's how we felt, like that we were just kind of holding up this facade, but we were really, really unhappy.
It's worth risking comfort to live out purpose.
This video isn't about that. This video is about why we stopped. Why did we stop? I ask myself that every day. In a nutshell, you know that I wish we hadn't stopped, but we did. We're planning to do it again very soon, actually, but we stopped, and we haven't done it in about 2 years. We bought this house, we renovated it, and now we live in it, and life kind of went back to the way it was before we started traveling. And we've fallen into some of the same traps that caused us to leave our house in the first place.
Life was crazy and busy. You know, my husband just lived to work. We just were losing everything that we wanted as the foundation for our family. We just wanted something different for our family.
So, why did we ever stop? That's the point of this video. That's the question we're all asking. Well, in the end, it was because our kids, and I didn't want our kids to regret us, and I didn't want to force them to do something they didn't want to do, so we were like, okay, we'll stop for a year, we'll get a house, and if after a year we don't like it, we'll go back on the road. And so it's been 2 years now, but we're all like, please, can we go back on the road? Including my daughter, well, all of our kids. Except for our middle son, he's still like, I want to live in a house because it's a long story. It doesn't matter what he wants anyways, he's outnumbered.
It's been full of struggles and questioning of what the heck we're even doing. There'll be one person that is like something like negative to say, oh my gosh, are they right? Like, is this the worst decision ever?
But there's a few takeaways that I've learned now that we've stopped RVing that are applicable, I think, to other areas in our life. One of them is that the appeal for something different, something new, can often outweigh our current perfection. I don't mean that anyone's life is actually perfect, but there's probably some aspects of your life that you don't even realize are actually really good. That old saying that the grass is always greener is so true. Almost regardless of what you're doing, how you're living, there's probably a pull or an appeal to do something different. And for the most part, I'm like, go for it, do that different thing. And actually, my daughter brought up a really good point when my wife and I were struggling with the idea of stopping the life on the road to go get a house. She told us that the reason we left our house in San Diego is a long story, but part of the reason is because we wanted to be uncomfortable to some extent. We wanted to do something that pushed us outside of our boundaries. We wanted to see what we were capable of, what else we could do. And so my daughter brought up the point that in our current life, when we were traveling on the road and living in an RV, that had become our comfort. And we loved it. We didn't want to change. And that moving back into a house after almost 4 years could be stepping out of our comfort zone again. But I think it's important to I think it's important to understand and appreciate what we currently have in our life. There are probably things that we don't really appreciate on a daily basis, and sometimes they become mundane, or we take advantage of them, or not advantage of them, but we take them for granted. I know I do that, specifically with my family, often. The other thing that I think started happening is that it's easy to start focusing on the negatives of your current and start focusing only on the positives of the possibilities of the future, the possibilities of a different decision. It's very easy to focus on the dream state, like this is what it could be amazing. When that happens, we're often only focusing on the positives of that situation. We're not looking really at the negatives, but we're only focused on the negatives of our current situation or the thing that we want to get out of. It's just like, this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad, but we're not looking at the positives of what we have, which is kind of the point I already made. So I think I'm just saying the same thing a different way. I don't know. In the end, it was our kids. That's why we stopped. They wanted to see what life would be like in a house again because, 4 years for a kid is a pretty long time to live in a trailer, and they almost started to forget what life was like in a house. And they saw it on TV and in the movies, and that was normal, and normal seemed very appealing to them. So we were like, okay, we don't want them to hate us. Although that was a hard thing to deal with in our minds because we thought we believed that living in the trailer was a much better lifestyle than living back in a house for our kids, just for us personally. And so it was hard. It was like, do we force them to do this because we're like, we think this is better for you? Kind of like the same way you're like, no, you can't touch the stove. For the 100th time, you can't touch the stove. It's hot. It's like, it's better for you. I'm forcing you not to touch the stove. That kind of thing. We do things that our kids don't approve of because we know it's better for them. We decided in the end, yes, let's do it. Let's try it so they can see it for themselves. And it's not like a bad thing, we're living in a house. So anyways, did we make the right decision? I don't think so. But at the same time, every decision, I did a video just recently about decisions that we make, and that I don't know that there's necessarily a right and wrong decision. For some things there are, but big decisions, you deal with the outcome of your decisions, whether they were good or bad, right or wrong. It's how you deal with that. That makes, somebody a pleasant, happy person or a negative, downward-looking kind of person. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, so I'm just going to move my hands. I don't know if that's helpful to you. Hopefully it was, but that's what we gleaned, and that's the reason for why we moved back into a house. But again, we're going back on the road soon. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out. This is a selfish ask now. If you thumbs up the video, you like it, you share it, you comment, all those things, tell YouTube that people like this kind of content, and helps me out. So if you would do that for me, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
Right.